Here we go. It is Monday. Yep. KVJ show. After the show podcast. I want to say thanks to everybody came out to Blue Martini in City Place in West Palm on Friday night. Had a great time. Another round of cocktails and karaoke. Got to say what up to Amanda. She said I had an amazing time Friday night. I want to say sorry to Virginia if I freaked her out by confessing my love for her. She was hashtag be cool though. So there you go. Denny's taught me how to smoke an e-cig.
So you thought you had to get high.
Mm-hmm. Also wanted to tell Jaybird the tamale cakes at the Cheesecake Factory are pretty good, and thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah, they do a mean tamale.
Yep. Dixie Chicks Lauren sent this email. She said, so Friday, Dewey and I had a date night, so we made the venture from the Pizzle down to West Palm for cocktails and karaoke. Needless to say, it was a solid call for date night. Here are a few highlights for us. 1, seeing a clearly blasted Kevin still hold it together like a champion, emceeing. 2.
You weren't drunk, though, at all. You had, I think, one beer.
I had a beer, yeah. Uh-huh.
You were the only one that had it together. You're the only one in this outfit that really, truly had it together.
Yeah, you're the only one that didn't pregame. Did you pregame?
We ate before. I had a beer. So I had like maybe 2 beers, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Virginia. So me and Denny's talked about the rankings.
Yeah.
It went. Virginia was the drunkest.
Yep.
Denny's. It goes. Virginia, then Suits,
Okay.
then me, then Denny's, then you. That's how it would go down.
And those rankings fluctuate from week to week.
They do.
Yeah.
She's been the champ the last couple weeks, though.
She's the winner right now?
She's the winner.
Where's my belt?
Yeah, right. You need a belt for that. Let me see. Also, she said, seeing a clearly more blasted Suits not hold it together so well and wander aimlessly around Blue Martini.
Doing his T-Rex hand.
Doing the suit sway.
The endless line of people getting pictures of Jaybird. How effectively Kevin ghosted after the show was over.
I don't know if it was effective. I think everyone saw it.
Yeah, no.
Everybody did.
Yeah, no, the Queen's ready to go. When we hit that stuff, she's like, I'm ready to go. It's
We
like,
know.
Yeah.
We heard.
She is all ready to go, so it's time to bounce. Got to get going, unfortunately. Let me see. Virginia handing me her phone to put my number in, then walking away, causing me to give her phone number to Denny's to make sure she didn't lose it. But really, you all are absolutely spectacular with all the KVJ fans and put on one hell of a karaoke show. I'm also trying to get in touch with the person I know that has an airboat to see if he is up for letting Jason swim around the boat in the Everglades.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And Jaybird, don't forget that Dewey wants to throw you out of an airplane at the Stewart Air Show this year. So
Yeah, yes, definitely. I believe they're the ones that took Ann and myself to the Dixie Chicks concert.
yeah, I think
They're
so.
such a nice couple. They really are.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming out on Friday.
I think that's them, right?
Also, thanks to Monica. She came out with her boyfriend, Kevin, who I know from my gym. He's a solid dude. Monica's great. She came out. She sang Mr. Big, To Be With You, which is great. She got up there. Kevin, her boyfriend, kind of gave her some encouragement. She got up there, and she did a fantastic job. And she said a shout-out to the girl who was rapping Digital Underground, the Humpty Dance.
Oh, that chick's awesome.
It's Katie.
Yeah. She said when you did that, it gave me the courage to get on stage. That was a viral moment.
Nice.
So, Monica loved having you and Kev there. Thanks to everybody who came out and just kind of hang with the crew.
Yay.
Also, Shelly said, can we talk about your reality show parody video for the KVJ 5K? I feel like you guys haven't talked about it enough. Jerby and Denny's, the production quality is your best work yet. Great job. Keep promoting the video.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to try to do some more stuff like that, some more reality-based stuff, maybe to promote some events. It makes it
fun.
Makes it a little bit more fun to promote an event around it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of our own little Big Brother type thing that does like the reality-based stuff. I know you guys love that show. You guys are there checking out Big Brother stuff today.
We are. We're in it,
Chomping
baby.
on it.
I do. I just love that show so much. I want to be on it so bad. I'd love to be on it.
You should do it. I think that'd be a good one for you.
It wouldn't be good.
It's just the only thing is, you got to be gone.
You'd be
so
gone
long.
for 2 months.
They do have a radio chick on there. So my whole thing is
She's a side piece, though. She's a side girl on the Kid Craddock show.
I thought so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I looked her up.
And her game is weak as shit. So many. All of their games are weak as fuck this year.
Nobody's really playing well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of followers.
And what is you got to have a good strategy to win it?
You just got to be able to. At this point, you got to make some moves. They're giving basically $500,000 to Paul, the veteran who was there last year. This guy got runner-up on Big Brother.
Okay,
and he's going in there and telling them all what to do, and they're all like, "Okay, Paul, whatever you say." No one's got the balls other than Cody and Jessica.
And they got Jessica out.
That's the butt
She's
poker.
the one that was okay.
She's
so
the
she's
hot
gone.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's not my favorite on the looks department. I have such a crush physically with Alex.
Really?
I don't know if I like Alex's personality, but I like the way Alex looks.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, the show's doing pretty well. Any love at all for Bachelor in Paradise? That's kicking off tonight.
I know,
I don't know if
Ryan.
anybody
We did our
cares.
Weird and Whatever podcast yesterday, and
Yeah.
Ryan Beckett was over, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, man, got Paradise coming up," and I had no excitement. I'm
kinda-
over it. I'm over Bachelor.
You're into Big Brother and the Weird and Whatever now, huh?
Well, I mean, I just don't. I think I'm just over the Bachelor series completely. Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Yeah.
I'm just.
No, done. Okay. Got this email here from John in Georgia. Said, hey, I was listening to your show from last week, and I heard you were talking about DeAndre Johnson, the FSU quarterback that punched the girl in a bar. He's now going to be the starting quarterback. It looks like starting quarterback for Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
And Fighting Howls.
Let's punch the other team instead.
He was on Last Chance U, which is a Netflix documentary special, because last year he played at what they call Last Chance U. When you get in trouble at a big program, they get all these kind of like misfits on this community college team in this small town in Mississippi of like 700 people. It's like Eastern Mississippi Community College, something like that.
Is it supposed to be like a rehabilitation kind of thing, and then they get to go back to a regular school?
Yeah, that's kind of it. It kind of happens more and more now with a lot of these athletes. They'll go to these community colleges in like Mississippi or Texas or something like that, so they can kind of keep playing, keep their skills sharp, and then they'll go to another big program. That's kind of their hopes.
Gotcha.
So you kind of see that happening frequently now with some players when they go to their first school, because the way the NCAA rules are, you can't just bounce around from team to team.
Gotcha.
You have to like sit out a year or go to a community college. Said, have you seen the video? I really would like to hear your honest opinion on this matter. I've given you my thoughts. Here are the facts. 1, she hit him first. She was witnessed shouting racist remarks towards him. He went to jail on misdemeanor assault charges. He was kicked off the team. Nothing happened to her because she was the victim. The obvious, he's black, she's white. What are your thoughts on it?
Wow, I didn't know she hit him first. I mean, that kind of changes it for me a little bit. I mean, yeah, a man should never hit a woman, but I mean, if you're gonna close fist hit him first, you started it. You should have some of the blame for the altercation. He should not be the only one getting punished.
You say the same thing about Rihanna?
Yeah, I would. If she came back and said that she hit him first and then he hit her, I'm not saying that he's entirely faultless, because he should still go to jail. He should still absolutely be in trouble. But if she hit him first, she should go to jail too.
You just can't hit people. Guy, girl, I don't care what's going on.
can't.
If you're a chick and you hit a guy, even if you slap him, you should be arrested for that.
And we're not saying any guy should ever hit a woman back
Right.
after he's been struck. He should walk away, because he is the man and he can do a lot more damage with his fists than a woman can.
Well, if we're trying to do everything evenly, and I think there's two separate ways to look at this, John. One, you look at it from a legal standpoint, then you look at it from a football standpoint. And legally speaking, if we're trying to do everything even here in our liberated society, then yes. I mean, she should be looked at by the law the same way as if she was a man. And she threw the first punch. He was prosecuted. She should be too, because that was assault. She started off with a physical altercation and punched him. So, yeah, in terms of the law, I think it should be looked at the same way with that. Now, on the football perspective I believe that when you're an athlete and when you're representing a school and a football team like that you unfortunately can't live like every other student on campus. You've got to watch where you go, who you hang out with, what you do. You cannot go off and do something like that.
And even if a girl hits you, you got to turn the other cheek, because you're representing the school as a football player. That's a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can ruin that in one moment.
Character is a big thing when you're at that level, because really, to me, high-level D1 athletes on those kind of programs, and Florida State is one of those schools that you are the best of the best. I mean, you are less than 1% of all the people out there that have played high school football. So you got to hold yourself to a higher standard and a higher level. Even when you get to the NFL, there's that one guy, Ezekiel Elliott. You see he got a 6-game suspension, and he was a big star at Ohio State. And now he had a great rookie year, but there was some kind of altercation that happened with his girlfriend. And they're still looking into that.
How weird. Another Ohio State person in trouble again. How weird.
Yep.
The Ohio convicts.
Yeah, well, it's, all these athletes that come out of those kind of programs, the temptation for them and the way that they are treated. And I see it because I'm a huge Buckeye fan. I know they are treated to a different level. I mean, it's unbelievable. Everywhere you go, you are treated like a god.
But here's the thing, though. Some guys are going to be able to go through all that and keep their shit together, and they're going to say, well, if they can keep it together, you should be able to keep it together, too.
Absolutely. There's no excuse for it. But I understand the temptation is great. And, when you've gone through that for a couple of years and you're a 19, 20-year-old kid, and, with the Ezekiel Elliott, I don't want to comment on that because I don't know all the details of what was going on. But the NFL did an investigation for a whole year, and they feel like 6 games is proper for his suspension. So, that's where they sit with it right now. When it comes to DeAndre Johnson, watching that show, Last Chance U, from all accounts, people are saying that if you knew this kid, that you would be like shocked. You'd be like going, there's no way he punched a girl in a bar. That it's very uncharacteristic. That just in a million years, you would never expect him to do something like that.
Did he admit to doing it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt he did it. I mean, he's on video, and he's served his lumps and all that kind of stuff. And that's the big question that you see on a lot of the sports shows right now is, does the kid deserve another chance? He was on Last Chance U, and now he's at Florida Atlantic University. And I think a lot of people are like going, yeah, he made a horrible mistake. A girl punched him in the face. Who knows if a racial statement was said or not, but John is saying that it was.
But he served his time, and he did what he had to do as his punishment. So I think that, he should be given a second chance.
Because the other alternative is that you just completely keep him out of sports, and it takes away any kind of chance he has to do other things. So, and other people debate that. And my opinion is like, based on those circumstances of that incident, that
every incident needs to be weighted differently too, because there's some cases where you've seen and heard all the details and you're like, oh no, that guy should never be allowed to play sports again.
Sure.
But maybe this guy isn't that.
Yeah, but he's on his last chance.
If she hit him first and she was calling him racial slurs, and I mean, that's just a different scenario.
No more screw ups. Let me see here. A couple other things going on here today that we got. Did you hear about this altercation that happened in St. Pete? A guy got punched by his Uber driver and died.
I saw that. They got into a fight in the car. So the Uber driver pulls over to like a convenience store, and they both get out the car like to continue the fight. And the Uber guy, I guess, just dropped the passenger with a punch.
Yeah.
The guy never regained consciousness.
Yeah, serious brain trauma.
Dang.
Boom. Dropped him in one punch.
That's what's crazy, man. You get into one of those stupid fights. You always see that, especially with dudes. They'll be at a crowded bar. They bump each other. And sometimes fist just starts to fly. And you don't know that person. They don't know you. They could be great people just because
What are you fighting about?
Your drunk ego got in the way. Your life could be completely changed.
Yeah, it's tough because, we all do. I think a lot of times we sit there, and especially now with the keyboard warriors of social media, people jump all over somebody and they never have a chance to come back. But I'm always reminded, man, I think anybody out there is one bad night or one bad decision away from being in that exact position.
I completely agree. I feel like you could be at a bar having a great time, having a couple drinks, and all of a sudden something goes wrong. You think you have to defend somebody, and then, oh, holy shit, I'm in a fucking brawl.
Yeah, and then you can hit somebody and they die.
Yeah.
You hit them once.
I would, because I got glass hands, basically. If I was to punch someone in the face, my bones would shatter.
Glass hands.
And a glass jaw, too. I'm not great with fighting.
It's not, you're a lover, man.
I'm a lover, baby. A pacifist.
It's kind of the way it goes. So that was one of the crazy stories that was also in the news today.
Have you ever been in a bar fight, a brawl?
Yeah, but I always just got my ass kicked.
Okay, so but were you the reason why it started,
Yes.
or okay, on
Yeah.
more than one occasion?
I'm trying to remember. I didn't do a whole lot, but no, there was one time I got my ass kicked, and I started a street riot at WVU. So yeah,
Street riot. It just sounds so un-Kevin Ralston like.
yeah, I was fucking insane.
What did
drunk.
you do to start a riot?
There were these guys. I was my cousin went to WVU. He played on the tennis team there at West Virginia, and I was going to Ohio University. And they at the time were like competing party schools. Like Ohio University and West Virginia were always like in the top 3 of like biggest party schools. So we'd bounce back and forth between the two. So I was there one weekend, and there was this guy from England that he played tennis with, and I'll remember his name was Feeney, and this guy was nuts. He was crazy. He slept at the pro tennis shop in the ball closet. And this guy was he was as nuts as you would have imagined.
Would they call him Meanie Feeney because he was a little crazy?
No, no. He was just he was party nuts. He wasn't like a mean fighter kind of like guy. He just was, lippy, and he had that British accent and all that kind of stuff. And so we were out with him, and there were these guys that, for whatever reason, like we just kept. Every bar we go to, something would happen, and there'd be some kind of like little dust up,
With the same guys?
Yes. And so we went on, partied throughout the whole night. And I just remember we were walking down the street where all the bars are. And the bar had one of those like glass doors. You've seen that where you kind of like, you push, pull, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just straight up through. So we look through, and you could have a straight shot into the bar. And so we look in, and those 3 guys are sitting there at the bar, and they look at us and are like flipping us off. And so I give the whole universal like wave them on, like, oh yeah, come on, like what am I gonna do?
Come on, bitch! I'm 120 pounds.
They grabbed about 5 guys and came rushing out of the bar. And before I knew it, I had like 5 punches to the face.
Oh.
A whole bunch of people came swarming out of the bar. And I was down on the ground. All I remember is looking up, and Feeney had his shirt over his head trying to protect himself from all the blows he was getting.
Ooh.
My buddy Josh
Feeney.
just took off running. He ghosted all of us.
I can see that.
Yeah. So he left out. I was just getting crushed. And this car pulls up with these huge dudes, and they're going, leave that poor kid alone. And they came over and jumped on those guys. And then they started fighting. Then 5 more guys got into it. And then another car came up. The road got shut down. The cops came up. They had to shut the entire road down. And by the time I just got up and like kind of like limped away because they started all fighting around me. There was probably about 35 people fighting.
What?
And yeah, it made the paper the next day. It was a huge dust up. And so.
Ask Panda about the brawl we got into, the full-on brawl at Bradley's. Ask him about that.
You want him to come on?
No, you ask him in his own personal life. I mean,
Okay.
this one guy must have been about 6'4", and he was hammered, and it was packed at Bradley's. And I noticed in the distance, he kept on checking people out of the way, guys and girls. And he was so big, people were just falling to the. And I noticed he was doing that, and I was hammered up. And I look at him, and he looked at me, and we just got eye contact. And I go, "What the fuck you doing that to people for?" And he came after me, came through a couple people. He went full on swung and nicked my ear, missed my face, and nicked my ear. And I realized he didn't hit me, so I start laughing at him. Oh my gosh, he got even more mad. So he goes after, tries to grab me. People are blocking him. The next thing I know is one of the barbacks at Bradley's, who was about 5'2", put me in a move that I could not get out of. They kicked me out of the bar. They kicked that guy out of the bar. And then the guy's girlfriend lied to the cops and said, I threw the first punch. I started the whole thing. And she even came to the side and goes, I'm sorry, I have to do this. That's my boyfriend. I have to protect him. She even admitted that she was lying.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so he got back in?
The cops had to, it was
Nobody was allowed back in.
Panda was out. I was out. We had like 5 people. This guy ended up he got thrown out. We all got thrown out completely. They made us go our separate ways, and nobody got arrested.
Wow.
But that guy was physically hurting people. And then he threw a punch at me. The cops, I go, my ear's fucking ringing. You're not going to do anything to this guy? You're like, no, we can't do anything. We didn't see anything. So they just wanted, to end the whole
They
thing.
didn't want to put up with a bunch of drunks.
This guy was huge, man.
Right.
I mean, so big. If
Well-
he would have connected to my face, I would have been dead.
I wish he would have tried to pull that crap when Ricky Ralston was around.
I want to say,
Yeah, he would have punched me first and harder.
I want to say Panda might have given a kick to the leg or something to him.
Oh, really?
It was a big ass brawl, man. Ask
Okay.
Panda about that.
I
Yeah.
will.
See, I don't remember really any other fight. I normally never fought. I was a very passive guy. So, and who knows what he was even going that night. I think it was Feeney was in my head. You ever-
Feeney.
I think it was all
Well,
Feeney.
that's my point.
He got me going. I don't know what happened.
It can happen so quick.
Yeah.
Just like at Bradley's, we're all having a good time, and within seconds, there's this
Right,
fucking
it's not my style.
bodybuilder going after me.
And sometimes somebody in your group, when you're drinking, their fight now becomes your fight for some reason.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like, wait, I wouldn't normally have done this, but oh well.
I had 5 buddies with me, and I needed all 5 of them because this guy was a monster, an angry monster.
He a big boy, huh?
He was.
Big boy. Yeah. I was going through one of the things we did on the show here today. I was like, well, there's got to be a great answer for this. The hypothetical I threw out, you guys, if you could ask any historical figure one question, who would it be and what would you ask? And that really kind of like has me stumped because I was trying to think of a great answer, and I was going through even some of the great mysteries that have happened, in life. And it's a historical figure. It doesn't have to be a president. It doesn't have to be in
Yeah.
the United States. I mean, it could be all the way back. It could be, you could go back to Jesus. You go back to the pharaohs.
The only reason why I picked the president is because for what I want to find out, alien and UFO stuff, I feel
Yeah.
like the president seal of approval
Right,
would
might be your best chance
would
to
be a
get an
great
answer.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, some people would put, they would go back and ask JFK, how was Marilyn Monroe, find out things like that.
She was awesome.
Details on the affair, things like that had happened.
I can tell you right now, it was fucking awesome, and she probably did everything under the sun with him.
How'd she die? I bet you he knows something about that.
Do you think has he ever been linked to that? Is there a conspiracy theory?
I think there is.
I always heard that him and his brother they double teamed her. I'd
I'd heard that she was having an affair with both of them at the same time, and there is talk about that.
That's
maybe
pretty scandalous.
That is, because I'm thinking about me and my brother double teaming. That would be the
that
worst.
poor girl.
That poor girl.
And that would be the thing. It'd be like the historical figure would give you an honest answer. You wouldn't get the runaround. You would get
Truth.
You would get an honest answer out of one historical figure. Yeah, who would it be? And maybe it would be something about JFK. But, you also think about what if they give you an honest answer that's deflating? It's like be like, did you have Marilyn Monroe killed? And he's like, nope. And you're like, oh, damn, I just wasted my question. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
want
that
to go in there
sucks.
with a foolproof question.
Right. It's something like, okay, and maybe you can have a yes, no, but then and why? Like, to me, one of the great, and I was trying to think, okay, well, what would it be? A lot of people believe that the pyramids, no way they could have been built by the ancient Egyptians because, in fact, they don't even think they're tombs now. They think that they more had to do with astrological because of the way that they're placed. And it's pretty phenomenal when you break down the math and just how they were tied in. They said it wasn't until recently we had these kind of configurations.
Kind of a weird little thing too. If you look at the satellite from space, if you compare what you're talking about, there's another structure on Mars that looks eerily similar to that.
Yeah.
And they really do believe that it's some type of alien message that they're aliens are the reason why those things are up there.
Yeah, so the question, if you could figure out, okay, I'm sure there was a pharaoh at that time when the pyramids were built, and you could ask him, be like, okay, did only Egyptians build these, or did you have help from aliens? That would be kind of interesting, and you wonder, like, what kind of answer you would get.
You wouldn't be able to. I mean, the ultimate question is what happens when you die, but you're not going to be able to ask anybody. Could you ask somebody that's passed on? And like, for example, could I ask Abraham Lincoln what happens when you die? Or does it have to pertain?
I think it has to pertain to what happened in the living.
Got ya.
Yeah, when they were living, what went down? What mystery would you want to know? And there might be some things about, like battles, wars that have happened, things that have gone on where you're like going, how did that really happen? And there's probably a lot of questions that we would love to have asked, but it's so hidden we don't even know to ask the question.
Oh yeah, there's so much scandal out there that I think we would be shocked as shit to find out the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just alien stuff. I'm talking about everything.
The truth might just cripple us. Like if we knew everything,
Yeah, I know.
you'd probably sit in the corner and shake.
I don't know if knowledge is necessarily always power. I think it can turn you into a basket case.
Well, this would be an example, and this wouldn't necessarily be mine, but I was watching a documentary on, the rise of Fidel Castro and everything that had happened in Cuba. And the guy who was his second in command that really kind of helped him out, apparently they started to kind of like butt heads a little bit. And so Castro was like, is this guy really loyal or not? So he sent this guy to go do something, and the guy did what he was supposed to do to prove his loyalty to Fidel. But then as he was flying back to the capital, his plane disappeared, and they have no idea where he ever went. And, Fidel's like, oh my gosh, how awful is this that my best friend or whatever is gone? And a lot of people are going, he had him offed. And so that would be like a question if you could get the honesty if there was another situation like that. I don't know if I'd want that question.
Yeah,
but that would be the example if you could ask Fidel Castro, all right, did you have this guy, did you have him killed?
And I think it's going to be different for everybody because there are going to be some people that find that whole mystery fascinating. For me, it's aliens. For you, it might be, JFK. It's going to be whatever you're into.
Yeah. So that's where I was like, I still haven't figured out what the ultimate historical figure would be. It's going to be in my mind all day.
I mean, you said you could do Jesus?
Yeah, you could.
What would you ask Jesus if you could?
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff is laid on the Bible. That's a great question. I don't know what I'd ask him.
Would you? I know what I'd ask him. Go, dude, tell me, is this about the Bible? Is it all fact? Has man changed it? What's your opinion on the Bible? I'd love to see what he said.
Yeah, the Bible was written after the time of Jesus came around. So yeah, that'd be interesting. But I would assume that even then, if he's all knowing, that even you could ask him when he's alive and say, hey, they're going to write this, put together this Bible. What's good? What's in it? What are your thoughts on it? They do a good job.
Yeah, I didn't mean to call Jesus dude. I call everybody
dude
or brother.
You can call him dude.
That's how I look at stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if Jesus came down, he'd be like, all right, Bird's calling me dude. He's being Bird.
Absolutely.
I'm a dude. He's a bird.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So if there's one I'm missing, because I have a feeling like sometime this afternoon I'll be going, that's who I would come up with, and that's what I'd ask.
They're all kind of at the same level of what happened to Jimmy Hoffa, who shot JFK. They're all kind of...
That's why I know I was sorting through all of them, and I'm like going,
it's got to be bigger.
Because you don't want to waste it. You would hate to like ask him, and they'd be going, no, it didn't happen. You're like going, dang it.
Dang it.
I would love to know.
I ruined my one shot.
Right.
I would love to know how many times the world has been in serious danger that only the top people know about it. Stuff we go along doing our regular, everyday stuff. But have there been times where a nuke almost went off, or a meteorite just zipped by and no one else knows? All these stuff, a bunch of stuff that could have happened, but only X amount of people know.
What about that whole theory that this has all happened before? So
internet's happened before.
What we're all doing right now has all been done before, because what happens is people just eventually evolve, and then they end up killing each other all off with
we get
nuclear
to a point where
war,
you can't get to a higher level. Yeah,
and then we have to start over from scratch.
Mm-hmm. There is a theory of people saying it wasn't maybe the internet, but something along the lines like an internet has already happened way a long time ago.
Yeah, and you find remnants of that. There are a couple things that they found from like even the BC era where they're like going, I mean, that's as advanced as anything we have today. In fact, that's one of the mysteries. They found some kind of astrolabe type device that was thousands of years ahead of its period where it was dated to.
Yeah, we talked about that one mountain there's a mountain out in China, I believe, and it's got such a intricate structure that goes underneath the mountain, through the water system, but it's ancient, it's old, and it's materials.
It has these pipes in it, too.
Yeah, it's got pipes, and it's got material that we just don't have on this earth. So what the shit is that?
Right, but who do you ask about that?
I know.
That's the thing. It's tough about this question. You don't have that person to ask the question
that's the kind of mystery I want to know. What is that structure out there?
Yeah. Elon Musk, that dude, is sounding off again about the artificial intelligence, and he's saying, I can't believe people are paying attention to North Korea. He said, that's not even close to our biggest threat. He tweeted out, he said, if you're not concerned about AI safety, you should be. Vastly more risk than North Korea.
Musk has got an agenda. I know what Musk is doing.
Mm-hmm. This isn't the first time he's warned of the dangers of robots. He's called for a proactive regulation against AI that needs to happen immediately. He said the bulk of humanity does not realize the threat posed by robots until they start going down the street killing people.
We talked about that yesterday in the Weird and Whatever podcast about how it's becoming the norm for people to start having sex with these sex robots, and that relationship robots are going to be the norm, where you're walking down the street in 10 or 15
Yeah, I
years,
saw that story, yeah.
and it's a woman and a dude, and one of them's a robot, and he's having sex with her, and it's going to be, just a normal day. People aren't going to be weirded out by it. It's becoming more normal, and people are fucking robots left and right.
All right, so here, this is my question. So what is going to be the social norm on that when that happens?
That's what I asked.
Because, we have a lot of things now where the social norm is, don't question on somebody that's somebody being themselves. That's what they do. And, do not suppress anyone's right to be themselves. We have a lot of that happening in society. And I wonder, when you get to the sex with robots, would it have that same kind of openness? Or would there be a taint about it saying, dude, you're having unnatural sex. You're having sex with a machine.
Well,
this is your thing. This is going outside of the scope of what we're supposed to be. Or are we supposed to say, look, if someone wants to have sex with a robot, they should be able to, and you shouldn't look down on them?
So I think you got two different things going on here. I think sex with the robot is a different animal than relationship with the robot. Because you could argue sex with the robot is
it's only
just
a physical act.
It's masturbation with an extra,
Well, tell us how it was.
an extra layer of gusto.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than a vibrator or you jerking off, really, when you think about it. Now, if you are in a relationship with a robot and you have feelings for it, and now you're walking around and you'll die for this robot, will that be the norm?
I don't know if it'd be the norm, but I think that it would probably fit into the same thing, like the people right now who marry buildings and planes and
I don't
things
know,
like that.
man.
I think it'll be bigger. I think it'll be a larger number.
It's creepier.
It is, but I don't think that it will become the norm where a lot of people go out and start marrying robots and having, relationships.
It won't be John down the street. He just moved in. He's got a droid for a wife. It's not going to be like that, you don't think?
I don't know. I mean, it depends upon probably how realistic they make the robots. I mean, if you could make it to a point where you would have zero idea the way that they act, the way they interact, what they do, everything about them, their mannerisms.
From what I'm reading, their vagina game is real strong. They're making, they're getting better, baby. And they're making them for women, too?
I mean, it would be to the point where you would have to spend, let's say, for instance, and this will be a reality show of the future. You spend 1 week with one woman, you spend another week with another woman, and at the end, you have to try to guess, and you have to marry one of the two, whoever you think is the real woman. And then that'll be the game. And be like, oh my God, it chose the robot. I couldn't even tell the difference.
What's so bizarre is, because I'm a big...
Reality shows of the future.
I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan, and half the shit that they were writing about in the 60s was about how robots are going to take over the world and how people are going to have relationships with... And everyone thought, oh, that'll never happen. Motherfuckers, it's happening. We are living in the Twilight Zone.
Ooh. There you go.
And according to Jay Bird, the robot vagina is strong.
Look, that's according to the literature that I read. No, I have not.
Have you?
I have not fucked a robot.
Have you put your penis close to one?
I have not done anything with a robot.
If somebody had one and they said, hey, what?
It's fresh. Nobody's done it yet.
Oh, okay. If you're asking me would I ever do a round of sex with a robot that's clean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, why not?
Okay, you would give it a shot. So as soon as we
Totally.
get a sex robot,
Will you put it on video?
You're going to be our guinea pig.
No, I'm not going to put it on video, but I just think I'm talking to two people, no offense, are a little vanilla when it comes to the sex life.
Okay.
And your opinions are going to be different than someone like a Denny's, who's a little bit more open, a little bit more of a deviant.
I got it on in my car on Saturday night. What did you do?
I got it on my couch by myself.
Hot.
So in your face.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for us here for a Monday. Go check out Bud's Chicken and Seafood, and there's 7 locations in Palm Beach County.
Try that chicken deal they got going on. I got a meeting with Philip today. No big deal.
That's important.
Supposed to be shooting a commercial, and I believe we're trying to sign one on Ann.
I love
Wow.
it.
She's not the easiest signee.
I've been telling you, she needs a menu item.
She needs a man, by the way.
She needs a man?
She does need a man.
Really?
She doesn't listen to the podcast. She needs a man.
And dating game.
And hook up or hang up?
I tried to bring that up to her. Nobody wants to date me. Nobody likes me. No one will like me. And that's not true.
There's a love for all of us.
Gosh, I would love her.
That would be awesome. Do an and dating game.
Okay, I'll talk to her. I'll sell. Kevin had an idea.
Tell her it's Kevin's idea. Well, we can really jazz her up. Like, I'll take her and get her hair done.
Yes, get
Yeah.
the whole
Get like
thing.
a whole makeover, spa day.
Okay, I will ask her.
Get her
All
all
right.
dolled up for this date.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
She needs a guy in his 70s.
They're out there,
60s
baby.
or 70s.
Okay, well, maybe we'll, have some people send in some emails now if they got a possible single candidate for Ann, and then we could say, hey, check out this fine, swarthy gentleman.
I will, and I'll go over to her place and go, look, we got this hot stud muffin
Yeah.
looking to,
Let her pick.
I love it.
Oh.
Mail at kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com.
It'll go well.
I'm sure it will. All right, we'll see y'all later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.